Yes, folks, hello, welcome to yet another action figure review here on MoDXtra Games and Collectibles. I'm Chris, otherwise known online as the True Mr. Six. Find me on Instagram, find me on Twitter, all that good stuff. But for now, sit back, get yourself a nice hot drink, a lovely brew, and enjoy this closer look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Dreadnok Ripper figure. I am going to give you all the ins and outs, ups and downs. So if you're thinking about picking up a Ripper of your own, then hopefully my thoughts that I share today will help you make up your mind. I'm going to talk about the aesthetic and the visual experience, going to take you through all the articulation and posability, and have a good little walk through all the lovely added value accessories and extras that are thrown in to enhance our man-child playtime experience. So yeah, that's the long and the short of it. This video is going to help you make a purchase decision if you've had your eye on this bad boy. So let's get into it. But before we get into the review thoughts, let me take you back in time to just a couple of days ago when Ripper arrived in the post, as I unbox him live on camera and give you my first instinctual reaction to the figure, as well as a closer look at all this fancy, packaging and MacGuffins. All right then, ladies and gents, here is the Cobra Dreadnok Ripper in packet. Arrived today along with Hawk. Very excited to be cracking this bad boy open. And it's the usual routine as far as the packaging is concerned. Got nice big digital render as a central feature of the front of the box. The painted artwork here at the right hand side. That's great, that. Look at that. Look at that mad bastard shit going on there. Love it. Then a little breakaway picky in the corner there with all the added value and extras included, all of the kind of black framing and stuff, G.I. Joe Classified Series logo at the bottom, standard, lovely digital render. Ripper is there doing some, rippy action, and he appears to be in the same sort of petrol-y station clubhouse band rehearsal scene that Buzzer was in as well, so that's all lovely jubbly. On the back here, we can see that he's number 102 in the line. Got the digital render next to the little measuring stick telling us he's 6.5 inches tall. Ripper's a big boy. There's all the goodies and extras shown off again, and then a couple of breakaway windows with some highlighted areas to show off, the paint applications on the tattoos, and the sculpt work on this razor blade earring that he's wearing. Legal bollocks and malarkey, import sticker there, and then, of course, the data card. All right, well, this one's slightly obscured by the import sticker, but it's a skull and crossbones. I've identified that by checking the one on the side. And that's actually in connection to this little fort as well. So there's two items on the data card here, all relating to the same piece of lore around Ripper. Now, this is because he's a fan of pirates and can be regularly found holidaying in the Caribbean, in places like Port Royal, visiting 17th century historical locations like pirate forts and so on and so forth. So, yeah, both of those are in relation to his love and travels exploring the history of piracy in the 17th century. Then we've got this one here. That's actually the Darksaber. So Ripper is a Star Wars fan, but he's got a particular soft spot in his heart, a love for the Mandalorian characters and the more recent stuff that Dave Filoni's been doing in that space. Obviously in the minority, but that's fine. Somebody's got to love it. So there's the Darksaber. And then jumping right over to the far side here, we've got some money and a suitcase. This is in relation to Ripper's love of classic heist movies. His favourite, in fact, is Asphalt Jungle, an old 50s black and white gritty heist movie, but he's also got a soft spot for some of the more modern stuff, and as more recently can be found rewatching The Town by Ben Affleck. Up the side here, we've got a larger representation of that painted artwork. You can really get into all the finer detail there. Really enjoying that one, actually. That's very dynamic, got a lot of energy, and really great kind of storytelling around the character's personality there into that. Then all this crap and bollocks on the other side that I can never be arsed with. Right, let's get him open then, shall we? Pop the tape on the bottom there. So I'll just slide my finger in. And we've got the weapons locker here. 102, Dreadnok Ripper. And then the figure itself in the cardboard frame there. Let's get into the weapons locker. And we've got the little baggie with all the weapons. And of course, the paperwork. After doing that for as long as I have done now, I've got a little mountain of those papers in the corner. I should chuck them in the recycling. All right, let's tear this open then. It's got the same consistency, actually, this tissue paper, as the type of stuff they print Christmas hats from Christmas crackers on. Tip out the goodies. Oh, big, chunky piece of equipment there. Come on, out you come. Rifle, pistol. Did I see something at the bottom there? I did not. Oh, straight away into the playtime with that. Look at that. Let's just free the rifle from the case there. So there we go. There's his rifle. The rifle's magazine. His dagger, his pistol there, his shades, and of course his big old ripping machine. Had the scissors ready this time, so I've already snipped the tie wraps there. Right, okay, there we go. There is the artwork on the back of the cardboard frame. Might keep that one around for a little bit, actually. Which one am I running right now? I'm running Agent Helix currently. And there we go then, ladies and gents. There is Ripper with all his goodies. So I'm going to go away, get some good, solid, hands-on man-child playtime with this guy. Definitely going to play around with a few Dreadnok displays with Buzzer and Zartan and Zorana. See how I feel about it, gather some thoughts, and I'll be back in a couple of days to share those review thoughts. So stick around, because future Chris is going to give you the more detailed review in 3, 2, 1... All right then, folks, let's get straight into it. First review area is the aesthetic, the visual experience of Ripper here, and I've got to say, super excited about this guy. Have really fond memories. He featured several times in the old Action Force comics that I used to read as a kid, and the overall visual experience does not disappoint. I mean, it just looks so grungy and swampy and just like he's got bad hygiene, you know what I mean? Everything about this guy is just really, really selling him to me, and I'm so happy with the overall visual experience of the figure. Here we go, I've brought him a bit nearer to the camera so we can conduct a closer inspection of these visual qualities, and the first thing I wanted to talk about is the skin tone. He's got this, he's got a bit of a tan, has Ripper. He's a bit sun-kissed, and that's nice, that's lovely. It's a nice little tip of the hat towards the comic book lore, because I'm pretty sure, if memory serves me right, Ripper's from Tasmania. I should check this stuff before I open my mouth on the camera, but I'm sure someone will jump into the comments down below and correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, he's got this kind of sun-kissed, sort of tanned look about him. I'm also pretty sure he's out there riding his hog out in the open sun across North America, catching some rays while he's getting around and about up to no good. So that's a lovely touch and really makes him stand out, particularly next to Buzzer, who we'll have a look at in a bit of a comparison in a bit, so that's nice. Always like to spend a bit of time on the face sculpts when it comes to G.I. Joe Classified series. Love the face sculpts, and this guy is top notch. Sometimes a bit critical of it looking a bit vanilla or a bit stony-faced, which kind of comes as par for the course when you're dealing with kind of military figures, but this guy is not a highly disciplined military dude, and the face sculpt is telling us that. Look at this snarl. This dude is growling. I love it. So we've got this this sculpt around the mouth there. The first things first, the paint applications are lovely and neat and tidy. The teeth, the tongue, the lips, all lovely applications there. Very spot on. But then the snarl is just really communicating loads of character, loads of personality, telling us a lot about who Ripper is. Then we've got the usual high standard of facial features, you know, the nose, the cheeks, the eyebrows, the furrows across the forehead and stuff. They're all ever present. Obviously, a lot of hair stuff going on there with the beard, the stash, the eyebrows, and then, of course, the mohawk. And these are all well sculpted just to bring it to life, bring it some texture, some depth. Really wonderful work there. And let's not forget, of course, the wonderful mullet action that's taking place down the back here on the mohawk. And also, while I've got him around this side, look at the lighter colour shade of hair where it's shaved across the side of his heads there as well. Just lovely. All these little touches of detail bringing it to life. Then we've got all the stuff going on with the eyes. So we've got the little teardrop tattoo there underneath his left eye, perhaps indicating a little bit of time in prison. He's done a little bit of shivving on the yard, maybe. And then we've got the right eye with the paint application on it there with the little acid house smiley face. I don't know if that's... I'm not aware of any kind of storyline, lore piece that suggests he's lost his eye. Maybe it's a glass eye. So a glass eye, contact lens, but you can see it's got the little acid house smiley face in there. Although what I will say is the paint applications on mine are not super hot. They're not all that amazing, but you know, you can see it, you can tell what it is, but it's the fine detail paintwork in there is not quite there. But what it does do is it gives him a bit of shelf presence when you're looking at the figure. It's like a bit of a stop and a double take. It's like, oh look at that. So yeah, lovely touch there. Just adds to that further sort of grisly, swampy, grungy, and also a little bit punky vibe about the figure, which I really love. Then we got the little razor blade earring here on the right ear. That's fine. It's not sculpted great, and the paint application is a lot darker It looks almost black. In fact, the lights are making it more shiny than it is like to your eye in hand, compared to the picture on the box. The picture on the box is much more significantly silvery. See there, like the digital render sculpt is not quite how it's come to life here on the ear of the actual figure, so it doesn't look as shiny, metallic, sharp, bladey, and the quality of the sculpt is not quite as hot. However, that said, it's still a lovely piece of character, a lovely piece of personality touch that's been added into those finer details to bring the character to life. Moving further down the body, lots of nice touches there. You can see, for example, like this little necklace with the razor blades across the front of it, just really adding to that punky element to his image. Might have been nice to have some paint applications there, some metallic paint apps on the blades, but aside that aspect, it's a nice little character piece there. Then we've got spikes on the shoulder pads of his little webbing setup. The grenades and the knife sheath are well sculpted and add a bit of texture that looks leathery. Although again, it might have been nice to have that painted in a more leathery coloured brown and the grenades in a black. But hey ho, beggars can't be choosers. And the spikes do have metallic paint applications on them. We've also got this section here with more spikes with a kind of brassy paint application across them, and then the spikes on his little kind of wrist guard area here, which is all adding to the overall visual experience. The tattoos on his arms are really well done as well. We've got this nice Grim Reaper at the top there, very well applied, and then on the other arm we've got this kind of demon, furry, horned, tongue-out demon thing, and the big demon claw down the arm there. Got the really awesome kind of like 15th century fine art demon vibes from theological paintwork and stuff, which I really, really love. Bit further down, well-sculpted belt. Got this little wallet chain here as well with a paint application applied to it, which is nice. Then the denim-style texture, the denim-style fabric look of his jeans is present as well, which is always a nice touch. Knee pads, and then, as always, the well-sculpted boots with a bit of leather across the front there. Although his wallet chain isn't actually clipped onto a wallet in his back pocket there, so I can only assume he uses that as some form of offensive weapon that he wraps around his knuckles or something, because he's not using it to keep his wallet from pickpockets, is he? But while I'm back here, again, more sculpted detail here in the pockets and stuff, just all adding to the depth of the character experience overall. Finally then, we've got the vest with the camouflage paint job on it there, which is nice, lovely. The colours all work well together. I've already mentioned about the skin tones, but the blue of the denim jeans, and then the green combat-y pattern vest, camouflage pattern vest with all the webbing and stuff, adding a little bit more symmetry to the look of the character is awesome. So I'm very happy with the visual experience that Ripper brings. He's got a wonderful shelf presence. It really adds to the character and flavour of the Dreadnok lineup on the shelf. So it's not just a 1 thumbs up, it's a 2 thumbs up from Ripper. I'm really into this guy. I think he looks outstanding. So there we go. There's visual experience. Let's now move on to talk about his articulation. All right, let's get started up here on the head then. So we've got the ball at the top of the head and a ball at the bottom of the neck. Normally with G.I. Joe Classified, that does give a good range of motion, but the beard and the mohawk are restricting your opportunities there. It's not quite as extensive as usual. So you get an okay up and an okay down, but not quite as much as we used to. You do have the sort of little bits of tilty movement, and you can do the full Exis 360, but the mohawk catches on the spikes on his webbing there. So it's there, but you have to sort of, angle it in a certain way. So it's all right, it's decent, but it's a bit more restricted than we're necessarily used to. Moving down into the shoulders then, you can see you've got the butterfly joint there at the top of the shoulders, and then a hinge in here, giving you a full 360 and the T-shape. You've got a swivel there at the top of the bicep and tricep. Got pinless double elbows, but they don't, because of the size of his biceps, they don't get quite as far up as we used to either. And then we've got the pinned hands into the wrist there, which give a swivel all the way round. And the right hand's got a hinge up and down. And the left hand there, as you can see, has got a hinge forward and back. Down into the torso, then you can see the diaphragm cut across the middle. This gives good forward crunch. Really good back crunch, although obviously you lose the camouflage pattern if you do that. And then we've got the ball joint in the waist, giving us some decent swivel on the figure. Carrying on down the figure then, we've got the standard G.I. Joe Classified Series drop-down joint in the legs there, which give us a decent range forward. Ripper's got full-on Russian ballet splits going on there, look. Swivel there at the top of the thigh cut. Then we've got this holster, which is super annoying. Look at this, it's just dead loose, keeps falling loose all the time. I keep having to fiddle around with that and keep it up on that thicker bit of his leg there, but it falls loose a lot. So I don't know if that's an added articulation feature or not, but you can remove it if you want to. Pinless double knee, getting you all the way up to there. Just as a quick note, the knees were very, very crunchy. I had to heat them up to get some decent motion on those, particularly on the bottom half, the shin joint bit here. Not so bad on the thigh joint, but on the thin joint, yeah, it was definitely a bit crunchy. Then we've got the swivel boot cut there at the top of the boot, and then the hinge and rockers on the ankle areas. My Ripper has got very loose hinges on the ankles there. I'll be looking to tighten them up. It's not affected his ability to stand just yet, but they're very, very loose in the ankles, which is weird because he was very, very tight up here in the knees. So Ripper earns himself a thumbs up in terms of articulation. A few little areas where I had some QC issues, or the design, like the elbows and the neck, the head motion isn't quite what we're used to, but without all like tactical vests and loads of crap on him, he's certainly less restricted than many other figures we've had of late. So I'm a big fan of the G.I. Joe Classified Series articulation scheme. I've definitely got him into some really interesting poses and some nice displays with the other Dreadnoks, so very happy with it. Yep, thumbs up on articulation. Right, what's next? Oh, let's now have a look at the accessories, all that added value they've chucked in for us. And let's get started with the main event, the big old Jaws of Life. Very big key feature on the Ripper figure here, although clearly a misnomer now because Ripper's appropriated this piece of kit for other intentions, misappropriated it for other uses, but that's fine. But yeah, really enjoying this. It's a big old chunky piece of added value accessory there. It's all the sculpted details in here. You can see all the kind of engineered and mechanical parts on it. Some paint applications you can see here, a bit of silvery metallic paint on this big old exhaust port at the back and on the main handle there, and on the teeth, on the grippy teeth here. And if you take a look on the other side, you can see some more paint application stuff in there. So that's all really well, lovely put together. The handle here has got some articulation in the joint down there, so it can help you out with your posing. And then we've got this fun little piece of hands-on, playtime, because you've got these two little nubbins here, and if you press them down at the same time, you can open the Jaws of Life like that, which is really nice and fun. And I've been fiddling with that more than I really should have been doing, but yeah, super fun, great piece of kit, very well implemented, and very happy with that. It's really added some flavour to the character as well, just that narrative storytelling piece. Loads of fun. Ripper then has some more traditional pieces of weaponry. So he's got this rifle here. It's quite it's still a bit gummy, but quite firm in comparison to what we've seen on a lot of the weapons of late. Nice sculpted detail in there. It's a single piece of moulded plastic, but they have put a nice metallic paint application on this little blade across the bottom there, which is nice. I always love it when they put a bit of shiny metal paint on knives and whatnot. This has a removable magazine as well, which you can pop out there. I found that to be a bit of an annoyance, actually, because the channel that holds the magazine in place is a bit shallow and it falls out quite a lot. So that's been a little frustrating. I also can't quite figure out what the best fit is for it. It's got that little shape at the top there, which implies it goes that way around, but as you can see, it's not. It's a very shallow fit. It's not great at all. That can also be stored on the figure. On the back of his webbing here, we've got this little peg sticking out there, and you just pop it through the trigger hole like so. Oh, hang on. Oh, see, I can never do that. I need to look at the figure and not the screen. There we are. There we are. Then we've got his dagger here. Always nice to see a paint application, a metallic paint application on the blade itself. Nice sculpted details in there, as well as this lovely knuckle duster section for punching as well as stabbing, which is nice. What that does mean, though, is that he can only handle the knife in a traditional upright position. So if you're looking for a bit of under stabbing like that, it's a bit awkward because of the way the sculpting in there goes along the contours of the grip, if you know what I mean. Actually, you probably could do it. I should just try again, shouldn't I? And put a bit more effort into it. But that can be stored on the figure as well. Got a nice sheath here on his webbing, and it slides in upright like that. But it's a nice tight fit, not going to fall out anytime soon, nor does it obstruct his ab crunch particularly either, which is nice. The last item in the weapon selection is this pistol here. Again, got a blade on the front of it. Ripper clearly likes blades with the paint application applied there, metallic paint application, just a lovely bit of touch of attention to detail once again. I'm not the biggest fan of this gun. It looks a bit, I don't know, bit stupid to me. It's got, has it got like Star Warsy vibes to it? I feel like it's got a bit of a kind of sci-fi Star Warsy vibe, but it's just dead. I don't know. Can't put my finger on it, but I'm just not a big fan. I obviously like my handguns to have a bit of chunky weight to them, and this just looks like really slim and pointless, but there we go. But that's what he uses, nonetheless, and then that can be stored in the holster on his thigh there. Just slides in like so. And last but by no means least, we have Ripper's sunglasses here. These kind of visored shades. They've got the sort of grey frame on them, but then the kind of shiny red metallic look to the glasses themselves. Well sculpted, not quite as flimsy as some of the other sunglasses we've had in the line up till this point, and they are a really great fit on his head actually. Very little fuss and faff to get Ripper looking good with his shades, because you've got this nice little kind of sticky out ear thing going on. So the arms fit over the back of the ear nicely, and they sit really well over the top of his nose, and they're not, not super loose, look. Not going to fall off anytime soon. So really pleased with the sunglasses, and of course, a big part of the visual identity of the character. So I'm real pleased with the accessory selection on Ripper. Again, another thumbs up for this figure. Really helps with the storytelling, really helps with the display. Lots of playtime fun can be had with these, and the accessories have got those little extra attention to detail touches like the painted blades, which you don't always get with the figures. So yeah, loving it. Absolutely. Really, really great selection. And of course, the implementation of the sunglasses is a big plus as well. So there you go, folks. There's a walkthrough of all the accessories. What next? Let's have a look at him next to some other figures for a moment, shall we? So here he is displayed next to the obvious choice of Buzzer and Ripper together. Although when I put the two of them together, there's a couple of things that spring to mind. The first is that Buzzer here is a much more traditional, vintage-inspired interpretation of the character, whereas obviously Ripper, they've applied their own interpretation, and he's moved a little bit away from the classic look. They still look great together, but when you sort of put them side by side, you go, oh yeah, didn't Ripper have blue glasses, and wasn't his shirt more lighter coloured like Buzzer's? I'll go back and have a look at that, but it is something that springs to mind. But seeing the two of them together, doesn't it just make you really want a monkey wrench and a torch, to add to the gang on the shelf? Can't wait for those guys to come down the chute. But these big chunky industrial reused equipment as weapons look really awesome, don't they? Real super fun. Here he is with Shadow Tracker. I've had Shadow Tracker hanging out with the Dreadnoks on the shelf, and it's all right, actually. I thought Shadow Tracker would be a good fit with them, but there's something about the skull face mask that, he's not quite as punky, is he, for a fit, but there's still a nice match. I definitely wouldn't like to bump into them in the jungle, you know what I mean? And here he is with Zartan. I've got Zartan on the shelf with none of his gear at the minute, which is a bit unusual for me, but another obvious choice to pair up. Although, what I will say, again, not really related to Ripper, but it's made me reconsider the retro cardback Zartan. I'm finding this one a bit dull and bland. I'm thinking that blue chest plate might look a bit better in amongst what I've got going on with these guys. Yeah, I don't know. I'll make my mind up soon. Here we are then, here's Ripper going round on the turntable, just give you one final look at him while I offer my final thoughts. Although his glasses aren't on straight, let's sort them out, there we go. And yeah, I think you'll have got the gist through the review. I'm not going to labour the point. I'm really happy with this figure, super fun, really enjoyed myself playing with him over the last couple of days, and anticipate enjoying myself for many more days yet. He's just got lots of great stuff going on. Although you will notice when he comes back round now, that bloody magazine has fallen out. I can't find it in the space of time since recording the accessory section of this video. It has fallen out, and I don't know where it landed. So that may be lost to the floor monster for all time now. Who knows? But yeah, it's a great figure. I highly recommend it. If you've been thinking about picking up a Ripper, let me tell you that you will not be disappointed. As far as I'm concerned, you'll not be disappointed if you pick one up. I've had lots of great man-child playtime fun with it, and there's not much more else to say. So, yeah, hurry up, Hasbro, and give me some more Dreadnoks. I really want a Monkey Wrench. I remember Monkey Wrench fondly from the Action Force comics. Oh, having a little rock and roll, are you there, Ripper? Take it easy, son. Bit too much of the old great soda there. All right then, well, thanks so very much for coming and hanging out on my channel today, folks. I hope you found that useful. If you've been thinking about picking up a Ripper of your own, then it is my sincerest desire that I've helped you out in some way with my review thoughts today. And the best way you can say thank you for that is to give me a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, because it costs you nothing, but it means ever so much to me, and it really helps the channel out as well. Oh, balls. And I've managed to mess up the ending there by having him with his back facing you as I finish the video. All right, well, anyway, take it easy, folks. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you around these parts again sometime soon. Come on, Ripper, hurry up. He's nearly at the front there. Bye!